very glad that finally my sociological background has a use in debating. And in the cases I prepared, all the points that you brought are already rebutted, so I won't spend time on that. And I will lift it on a higher level, and I will talk, before I will talk about the numbers have positive outcomes, and numbers don't create xenophobia. I firstly talk about why the state should treat each citizen equal. No, yeah, like this is we think that the state should treat each citizen equal, and why they are, that they are undermining this. And that's the principle that is very important, because what they are doing is they are restricting the freedom of movement based on a certain background of people, and we say that this is bad because you shouldn't discriminate on a background of people, because this background, like the group that they belong to, doesn't say anything about this individual itself, right? It is in that sense creating an it's not fair. And we also say that you are stigmatizing people who are member of this group. You are saying that as a state that they are inferior, that they have less chances per definition to do well in society. But as I've shown you, that the group where they are part of doesn't per se predict their outcomes, because of course we have a lot of immigrants who do well. We have a lot of second immigrants who are a major of this big city. We have and also, for instance, Obama is an immigrant, so in that sense he's the president like he would be perceived as something like a major minority in America. So, and you can see that there are positive outcomes as well, right? So you stigmatize them as being inferior, and what these consequences are, I will dig into that later. But in their plan, what they're basically doing is they are selecting the people who consciously choose to live in these areas. They are forcing them to go out, because people who don't want to live in these areas, immigrants, second generation immigrants, they won't go there in the first place, right? They will, if they think that this is a ghetto or something, then they will go. Then they are free to move somewhere else anyway. And of course we have asylum seekers, but in the Netherlands, for instance, we have like 10,000 asylum seekers. So we don't think that this is suddenly exploding this quota. The asylum seekers inflow is much too low for that. We are talking about these first and second generation immigrants. So we are saying that they are selecting a group, forcing a group to live somewhere else, and also they are bounding this community to a certain quota. We didn't hear which quota, but at least they are doing so, and that is unjustifiable also for the consequences. But before that, yes.
So the definition of discrimination is acting upon irrelevant characteristics. We believe that these are very relevant characteristics, and that therefore this isn't discrimination. This is just acting upon the best interest of the citizens.
No, as I've shown you that and Adrian will dig into that further. As I've shown you that group membership doesn't determine their outcomes, and Adrian will dig into that more deeply, because now I will talk to you about why numbers have positive outcomes instead. Well, what we say is that integration, that is what we want to get out of this, is a painful process. We say that you have less status in this host society. You don't speak the language that well. You don't have that many contacts. So therefore, it is in a way painful for these immigrants, for the first and second generation immigrants, to integrate. Right? They have to get used to other habits and used to other cultures. So in that sense, it is not a very nice position to be in, right? And we say that when they group together, when they have a big quota within a city or within a bigger country, that it is a positive thing, because we say that then that's very likely that people with the same disposition are with each other, that they share their background, that they share their stories that they had before, and they share the problems of not having this position of status and language. Okay, right? So what are we doing, right? When we allow these numbers to increase above any quota, we say that this will create a comfort zone for this negative situation. Because in the status quo we see that a lot of these immigrants are rejected for their habits. That, for instance, when you wear a headscarf, which is not that usual in society, that they are looked upon by these other group members, by the majority. And we say that when they are in a group where there are people that are similar, that they share their group identity, that they won't think that it is strange, and that they won't look upon them, that they won't discriminate them, or that they will feel more comfortable, right? They will think that they have more status in that sense, right? So, and second of all, we think that will create more self-esteem. And when people have self-esteem, they are less likely to, for instance, show avoidance behavior on the labor market. Think that they don't have the capacity to get the job because people look down on them and they don't want to be refused over and over again. So we think that this self-esteem will decrease the avoidance behavior. And we also think that having a group identity, seeing that there are people similar like you, will create this self-esteem because it shows that you are not alone, that there are more likely with the same disposition, facing the same problems, that you can discuss these problems with each other, and when there's a big group, that will be very likely, right? And third of all, as you mentioned, for instance, Chinatown, it will create more employment within the community, because when there is a big share of people with the same disposition, it is likely that there becomes a market to buy food stuff that was usual in their former living, right? For instance, the Turkish shop, the Chinese restaurant, right? So in that sense, it creates an income for these people, and when people have an income, they are less likely to do criminal stuff, because it's more rational for them to choose for alternatives that are against our norms and against our law, because they already have these incomes, right? Also, they give microcredits to each other. They can create a surplus of money that they lend to each other. They're more likely to trust each other because they share their disposition, and that will only increase their economic integration. And third of all, numbers don't create xenophobia. Well, yeah, maybe Adrian will have more time to handle that. So for these reasons, please oppose their plans. Thank you.